Right, so we're going to take a look at factoring when our coefficient of the, in this case, x squared, is not a 1, as I had in a couple of the previous problems that I had above here. So we are going to take a look at what happens when we do have something like this, where we have 2 in front of the x squared, and how do we take care of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually take the first term and the last term, 2 times 18, and I'm going to multiply them, and I'm going to get 36. So I'm going to take 2 times 18, get 36, and now I'm going to think about numbers to multiply to get me 36. So I have 1 and 36. I've got 2, 18, 3, 12. I can do 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. And that's all I have for factors of 36. So now I want to think about two numbers that would get me this number in the middle, which is a negative 15. And the only combination that adds up to be negative 15, or could be adding up to negative 15, is if these two are negative, 3 and 12. So if I have a negative 3 and a negative 12, they'd add up to be a negative 15. And if I had negative 3 times a negative 12, I'd get that positive 36. So we're going to work with that. So we're going to start off with that first term, 2x squared. We're going to use that combination. So we've got a negative 3, and we're going to put x after it. And then after that, we're going to have a minus 12x. And then that last number, which we have, which is originally 18. So we are going to set that up like that. So again, these two, if they're negative, multiply to get me that positive 36. But they also add to get me the negative 15. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at these first two terms here, and just those first two terms, and factor out what I can. They both have an x in common, so I'm going to pull the x out, and then see x times what gives me x squared. That would be 2x. X times what gives me negative 3x. That would be a minus 3 here. Now I'm going to do the same thing over in this section. So I'm going to see what I can pull out here. So we have minus, and then the highest number that they both have in common is the number 6. So I'm going to pull a 6 out, and I'm going to adjust this as well. So negative 6 times what gives me negative 12x? The answer would be a 2x here. And then negative 6 times what gives me a positive 18? That would be a negative 3. So notice that there's a 2x minus 3 here, and there's a 2x minus 3 here. So since they both have that same thing, we're going to use that as one of my factor sets for my binomial. And then the x minus 6 that we have on the outside here is going to be my other set of binomials. So that would be how you factor out something where you have a variable of x squared or whatever the square value is with a coefficient that is not 1. If you want more questions like this, you can find them on my YouTube channel, You Want Algebra. Check them out under the quadratic function section.